Welcome back to another episode of Forbidden Depths. I'm your host, Queen Frostbitten, and we're here today to get down, dirty, and sultry by staying open, educated, consensual, and safe. If you're returning, welcome back to another episode. Thanks for supporting the channel and its growth. If, of course, you're new here, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe, because one taste will never be enough. Okay, welcome back to Forbidden Depths again. We have a new episode for you today. We're actually going to talk to Doc. I'm so excited because I've been following you for a little bit and I see how collective you are, how you promote other people. I was super excited to feature you. Can you kind of tell us who you are?
I'm Dr. Promo on Twitter. I don't know what all you want to know about me. Just a normal average guy, I guess, that promotes not safe for work Twitter stuff for all the OnlyFans and other web creators out there.
Nice. So that actually leads me kind of to my first question for you. How did you get started with your promoting creators?
I don't really know, to be honest. It was just a random thing. Like, there's a lot of, I guess when you're on Twitter, you could see a lot of like the bigger accounts of like, oh, I'm in the top 1% of OnlyFans and I got 400,000 followers. But then there's also like I've got 10 followers and I'm just trying to start out. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. So I figured I like to help other people. So I figured if I could, that would be a good way to do it for some smaller, maybe less confident of the creators to get out there and see that people still want to see that stuff too.
Yeah, I fucking love it. I love it. I love anything that's collective and that's supportive, and I love it. So with you getting involved with promoting others, did it make you want to be a creator too? Is that something that you were like, oh, let me see what this is all about?
Kind of a funny story there. So I did not want to at all.
Okay.
Like at all. And then some of the girls I was promoting were like, "Oh, I want to see what you look like," and I was like, "No, I don't do that. That's not my thing."
Mm-hmm.
And one of them eventually talked me into sending them a picture, and it kind of spiraled a little bit from there. So
Mm-hmm.
I do create a little bit of solo male content, not that much though.
Okay. I can respect it. Take it at your pace. That's one of those things where people don't understand. You don't have to rush and do things like other people do it. Whenever you are a creator, you can literally just do whatever you want. Just put your art out there, you know?
Yeah, that's one thing I promote as well. I think is there's never any pressure if you come to me for a promotion like, hey, I only post this type of picture, I only post, it doesn't matter to me, I'll post anything, because to each their own, and there's an audience out there for everybody.
Yes. I fucking love it. So you really got into sex work promotion overall because you wanted to help those people that didn't have the bigger names. You wanted to help build their names up.
Yeah, I just think that it's important for others to see, like, hey, you don't have to be a creator celebrity type person to be successful at this, even if you have 4 or 5. I got kicked off there. I don't know where we were.
We got you back. That's all that matters. So I really like that. I really like that you want to be all inclusive and you kind of want to dabble and help everyone. You don't make like a difference in people, which is really, really awesome. You collectively just want to support other models as a whole. And I really admired that whenever I looked at your Twitter page. If you guys don't follow him, you should. It's at promo dr22 on Twitter. And extremely, like, every time I look at your feed, I see just this huge mix of different kinds of people. I see DOMs, I see subs, I see switches, I see cam models. It's like all over the place. And it's really inspiring. that you don't have this like niche or expectation, that you're just trying to help everyone.
Yeah, I think I've said it before, but everybody has their audience, and
Mhm.
you would be surprised how many people will cross audience. So if you pick
Yeah.
out like, hey, I only promote blondes. I think I had another promoter follow me for a while that was like, oh, blondes only, which is fine. I don't have an issue with that.
Right.
But a guy out here that likes blondes is also going to like redheads and brunettes. It doesn't matter to them
Yeah.
as much as if you're making quality content.
Right.
So it's just important to me. And after a while, I got into a lot of guys were messaging me like, "Hey, will you promote a male?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" They're like, "Oh, nobody else will promote
Right.
me." Like, well, why not?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're out here doing the same thing as everybody else. You deserve the same
That's right.
opportunities.
I completely agree. And there's a lot of people that will say that. I've seen a lot of promoters that have been like, well, I only promote women, or I only promote men because they do like the gay LGBT, which is fine. That's their niche. But all in all, I mean, everybody's out here trying to get their following bigger. And it's nice to see a place that just has collectively everybody together, you know? I think yours is
Yeah,
probably the first page I've seen that's so inclusive. I was like, I would love to feature him and talk to him and see how he feels.
yeah. I mean, we're all out here doing it. Let's do it together.
Yes, I completely agree. So, whenever you got started, did you kind of do it on your own? Was it just you kind of waiting for people to approach you, or were you approaching people?
So I started with helping smaller pages with their editing and stuff. So I would do
Mhm.
photo edits and posts and stuff so they could kind of be more eye catching. I think my
Mhm.
background and like education is all in marketing. So one thing that
Oh,
for me
okay.
is always like, hey, how do we catch someone's attention? Like if I'm scrolling through my feed, what's going to make me stop and like, oh, I want to see more of that.
Yeah, for
So I
sure.
started with doing picture edits, photo edits, and stuff for the smaller creators. And then people started coming to me for edits, and then
Mhm.
I mean, at this point, I don't have time to edit everybody who sends me a
Right,
picture and
right.
stuff. But I mean, if somebody comes to me and asks like, "Hey, I want an edit," I'll still do that for them. And I've never charged for anything, so I think that's kind of helped me a little bit, kind of build my following.
Mhm.
Because, like I said, I want everybody to have an equal opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, I fucking love it. I fucking love it. So, did you ever have any help? Was it something that you just completely did solo? Did you have anyone that kind of helped you?
So my page is 100% ran by me and only me.
Mhm. Okay.
Obviously, I mean, there's other promoters out there that share my stuff and
Mhm.
creators that share my stuff and things like that to help me get to where I'm at. And there's going to be more of that in the future. But as
Mhm.
far as what I put out there, it's all me.
Okay. Okay. Multi-talented. I got it. I got it. So, with all of your promotion and everything, what do you like to do for yourself? Like, what kind of content do you like to make?
I don't even know. Like, if you follow my page, you've probably seen some of it. Um,
Hmm.
I've tried to kind of get away from the as a guy or male creator, everybody's got the same five different angles of a dick pic that you
Yeah.
see over and over, and they get
I
sent to
was
my
complaining about
DMs
that.
and they're like I've seen it all. So I've kind of tried to get away from that, and I don't know, more show like, hey, even as a guy, like you have more to offer than just
Yes.
what's in your pants. Like take some
Yes.
teasing pictures, do some editing to it, make it black and white, make it do
Hmm.
something different than everybody else, because there's 20,000 other guys out there who sent that same exact dick pic to their DMs. They don't care to see that. So
Yeah.
you got to kind of catch
100%.
attention in a different way.
And that's what I was looking at with your even like your pin tweet. I noticed that you do the more artistic kind of style, which is what I love. It's one reason I started following you. And I like people that kind of think outside of the box. Like, yeah, everybody has this same angle when it comes to male, any kind of male creator. There's like literally 4 to 5 angles of their dick that they take a picture of. I'm like, I want to see more. I don't want to just see your dick. Like all men have a dick. Show
Right.
me something else. Show me attitude in your picture. Show me art, you know?
Yeah. I tried to start doing
Mm.
that. I mean, obviously the content creation is not my primary focus, so I don't put a lot of thought into that. But I mean, you could take the same picture you took that showed your dick and hide it, and it'll be more teasing and appealing to a woman or even
Yeah.
to a bi or gay man if that's your market. Like,
Yeah.
change it
Yeah.
up a little bit, make it artistic, do something different.
Yes,
I
I
don't
completely agree. Oh, you do know. You know what you're doing.
know.
I've been following you for a little bit. I know. I know. So, um, have you ever had any pressure from a model or from someone that you've been promoting? They've been like, well, you're going to promote me. And you're like, oh, well, that's just, I don't like your attitude.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm a, I wouldn't say I'm strict or rude or to anybody. I understand, like, and I don't want to word this wrong. So hold on, let me think about this.
Okay. Okay.
So I try to include everybody and give everybody opportunity.
Right.
Obviously, if you come to me with an attitude, I'm going to be less appreciative to offering my free services to you. Like, I've been doing
Yes.
this for a long time, not terribly long time, but, and I have never made $1 off of it. So like,
Yeah.
it's something I do because I enjoy helping others. It's something I do that can just kind of spend my time I have. And
Yeah.
if I'm doing it for you, don't come to me with an attitude. So if you
Right.
do, typically through a little bit of conversation, you can kind of kill that off and
Hmm.
get on a mutual understanding, and it goes away. But sometimes it's going to be like, all right, well, I'm just going to block you or push this one to
Right.
the side, and we're going to leave that one alone.
Yeah. And I feel like some people become overly aggressive because they think that's how they get what they want. And in the industry, that's not how you get what you want. You have
Oh,
to
I
learn how to
100%
communicate
agree.
and be open and just be supportive. Like, I'm going to have a much better attitude if you come to me and you're like, hey, can we talk? Then you're going to do this, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think that goes both ways too. I'm sure some of the creators are coming to promoters like, "Hey, post my picture. Here's the picture. This is what I wanted to say." Like,
Mhm.
because the other promoter gave them attitude back, like, "Oh, you want me to use my services for you? You're
Yeah.
going to do all this stuff." For like, so there's kind of a push and or a give and take there. Kind of, I always just try to. We're all here for the same reason. Let's do it together.
Yes.
Let's be nice. Let's. We don't have to be best friends, but we don't have to be enemies. And
Right. 100%. I remember whenever I was um younger in sex work, I had spoke to an individual and they told me that in order for them to promote me, I had to send them 3 free nudes. And I was like, what? So I was like, yeah, no, fuck you.
so
Like,
I don't know, this might be kind of shocking. I don't know. I don't know how other promoters do it. I just know how I do it.
hmm,
But I do ask that if you come to me and ask for promotion, that you send me the media you want me to post.
well, yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's all I'm asking for. Like, hey, just send me the pictures, the video, whatever you want me to post. Send that to
Hmm.
me, and I'll take care of the rest of it. And then I know for a fact others are like, and then I need 3 nudes or like. It's
Yeah.
not about that. If I want to see you, I should pay for it because that's what you're offering.
Right.
And if, like, I have an OnlyFans, if you want to come see videos of me, you can come buy videos of me if you want.
Right. Yes. You shouldn't be
So,
expected to give free shit. And it's one of those situations. I was like, I was new into sex work. So I was like, these people are asking for 3 free nudes. And I'm sure that quite a few people kind of fell for it. They kind of fell into that trap. But I was like, you're literally offering your service for essentially payment. So you want me to pay you in content, but you don't give me anything in return. Like, I feel like I'm being scammed right now. And I mean, some people are okay with it because they're like, yeah, here's some nudes, just throw them at them. And I'm like, no, it's the principle. Like, that should be something that's out there to start with, not, oh, by the way, you got to send me these nudes. That sounds
Yeah,
sketchy as hell.
and if your bio says free promo, it's free. It's not free
Yeah.
if you send me pictures, because that's how I make my money. Like that's how
Yeah.
I feel about that. I
Yeah.
do think though there's a lot of promoters, and I don't think it's the ones that you see with bigger followings and longer or older accounts that are in it for them. Like they, oh, if I promote these women, they'll send me all these pictures of themselves. Like
Yeah.
that's not what promoting is to me.
Right.
But I think a lot of guys will see it as an opportunity to get free stuff, and
Yeah.
that's why they start doing it.
Yes. I completely agree. So, how many, like, tell me how much time you spend on retweeting and just the promos. Like, how much of your day does it take?
Depending on the day, so I run a one thread a day.
Mm,
So on my threads, whatever the theme is, I'll usually put in there like, hey, I'll retweet everybody who joins in.
mhm.
So if I get 200 in that day, depending on what it is, I'm retweeting 200 of those. And as you can assume, that's time consuming.
Oh, yes.
And I usually put in another stipulation there. I don't know how much of my threads you've gone through, or to be like, hey, if you meet this criteria, I'll quote retweet it for you and make
Hmm.
a comment and tell everybody what I think of it. And when I do that, I don't have my generic blank like, oh, she's sexy, or I don't put that. It's always different. Every woman gets a different comment every time
Hmm.
for every poster. So I would say on a busy day, my threads, just a thread alone could be an hour and a
Yeah.
half. Plus retweets and additional promos. So we're probably 2.5 to 3 hours a day.
Yeah. That's about what I was thinking. I was thinking that you would be around the 2 hour mark. I was like, he puts a lot of time into it. He puts a lot of time into it. To not turn a profit, you put a tremendous amount of time. So I, for one, am super impressed by that because that takes dedication. That takes someone that's selfless, and it takes someone that wants to be part of the community and help others in the community that, are starting out or have their, their median accounts, not these giant whales that already have. Because I mean, that's how some people start their promo pages. They go with all these people that have these giant ass following. And do those people really need promo? Like, their
Yeah,
name's
I
already
mean,
out there and big.
you could promo me at that point. I don't know how much good I'm doing. But I mean, for these girls, I say girls because that's 90% of what messages me. So
Right.
males, if you're listening to this, don't take that wrong. You could still message me.
Right. Right.
um, but 90% of the people that hit me up and be like, hey, can you send me a promo? They're like, sometimes it's like, hey, I've got 3 followers, and sometimes it's, hey, I've got 10,000, hey, I've got
Yeah.
20,000. But 90% of it's going to be between that 3,000 to 0 to 3,000 followers.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, will you feature me? And you throw them on a thread, and a thread gets, I don't know, 600 likes or something in a day. I don't know how much my threads get anymore, but
We can we
and
can
they're,
we can take a look. We can take a look.
you're making me look bad. The holiday
Oh
threads, the holiday threads aren't doing good.
no. Listen, I
A
love
little
how
specialized
inclusive
there.
all of your shit looks. And like we were talking about earlier, your quote retweets, they always look nice too. I've been following you for a little bit now, because I'm one of those prying type. I like to look to see who I'm featuring.
That's good though. It's your podcast. You got to know who's going to be on it.
Yeah, yeah. So I really, really enjoy the fact that I see everybody. Like, I'm not just seeing this like Barbie doll cookie cutter. I'm seeing these housewives. I'm seeing these MILFs. I'm seeing, maybe the girl next door and people with all different kinds of backgrounds. You can just tell how collective it is. And I just fucking love it. And I was looking that your account features really small accounts. And I think the most that I seen you feature was around like a little bit over 20,000. But that's, oh no, here's 45. So my point is
Yes.
I see
But I
something for
mean,
everyone.
yeah, that's what I like. I don't, and as a man and things like we always hear in women too, I'm sure it hits women a lot harder than it hits men. Like, I can turn on a football game and see a makeup commercial telling me you don't look good enough.
Yeah.
Like, as mostly that's guys watching it. There's still those commercials
Yeah.
hammering women into a societal norm of what sexy is.
Yeah.
But a lot of men out there don't like that look. So
Mm-hmm.
the more we can feature that, like you said, the mom bod, the
Yeah.
milfs, the
And that's
girl
my
next door,
favorite. I'm going to tell you
all
that's my
together.
favorite. That is my market. It is my favorite because it's real. Because the huge stigma that is around people with natural bodies not being accepted. That's like I featured somebody else on my podcast that was talking to me about kind of how he had a dad bod and he wasn't confident in his body. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you that's what I'm going to be looking at and be interested in first because I know you're real. It's not one of these things
Right.
out here where somebody is changing the way they look or forced to fit this cookie cutter kind of mold because I like the natural bodies. I like people
Yeah.
being confident in their own skin. How do you feel about natural bodies?
I think if you're natural is the sexiest thing there is. I don't care if you're naturally skinny, if you're naturally average, if you're naturally athletic, if you're naturally bigger or thick, or however you want to word that.
Mm-hmm.
Being natural is attractive. It's not about that. Oh, I went and got a BBL.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about any of that. I want
Right.
to know that it's natural. Like, that's, as a man in my situation, like that's what's attractive to me,
Yeah, for
is
sure.
being, just be yourself and be, I won't say confident because I have huge self-conscious issues. Huge
You
self-conscious
can
issues.
you can learn to love yourself though, right?
But
Like
but
that's part of
show
it.
who you are and learn that it's okay to be that way.
Yeah. For sure. 100%. I completely agree. Now, I'm not one of those people that like nitpicks when it comes to people that have modifications. Obviously, I have a ton of modifications. I have tattoos all over my fucking body. So
But you're
I'm
not
not,
trying to fit into a societal norm of
no, I think I'm the opposite of that. And that scares
like,
people away.
uh, if to me, if it scares someone away, that's not your audience, and you
True,
did a good thing.
true.
So, but we're not. I don't like the, like, you're not fake. You're natural. That's naturally who you are. That's how you feel. That's your personality, and it's coming out
Right,
in your artistic content creation or however you do it.
right.
Don't try to go in and be fake.
Yeah,
Be you. That's what I mean by
100%.
natural.
Yes, 100%. And I love that.
Now,
I love
if
that
you
we're on the
really
same
want
page.
bigger boobs, go get bigger boobs. That's your thing. That's what you want. Go
Yeah.
get it and be proud of it and be happy in it.
Yes. And listen, I've seen some amazing body modifications.
Oh
So
yeah, there's
it is kind of how you sell it. And I've found that the more confident you are in the skin you're in, the better you're going to do in sex work.
so I'm gonna throw out something completely unrelated, but
Okay.
super related.
Okay. Okay.
Deion Sanders, professional football player, Hall of Fame cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
When he was playing, he always said, "If you look good, you feel good, you play good."
Yeah.
In here, if you look good, you'll feel good and you'll make good content.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
100%.
looking good is how you feel you look, not what everybody else thinks. It's how you feel you look.
Yes, because confidence sells. That's what I've been preaching forever. So I'm glad you feel like that. So let's talk a little bit about your interests. So I see you share all kinds, like there's literally no rhyme or rhythm to all of the people you promote. What do you like? Like whenever you are
um,
looking at all this content, what do you like?
I like different.
Okay.
So if I was to have to say like, hey, what part of a body do I want to see most? Like I would say I'm an ass man.
Oh yeah.
that's
Oh yeah.
that's my thing. But I don't want to see the your butt on a counter for the 60th time this week. Like
Yeah.
I want it different. I want to this is art. Like it really is.
Mm-hmm.
You're, this industry is the same as being a musician. It's the same as being whatever you could think of in an artistic world, an
Yes.
actress, an actor. So do you do it different, make yourself stand out. That's what's going to really catch someone's eye. And that's what I like to see.
Yes, I completely agree. So the diversity again on your page, I keep coming back to it because I love it so much. And I feel like you kind of have to do that with your art and sex work too. You have to kind of have that diversity, but you also need to pick like 4 or 5 things that you want to focus on and focus on them, but with different angles, different backgrounds, kind of pick your niche and go with it, but kind of do it a little different each way. That's like we were talking about how most guys have like 4 to 5 angles of their dick. Well, how about you come up with like 10 more? Like, don't do all the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think content creation, it gets hard. Like
Mm-hmm.
obviously I'm not flexible. So you're not going to see me putting my legs behind my head to take a picture. And
Right.
like, that's not going to be my thing. So I got to figure out
Right.
what I'm good at
Yes.
and be good at that. But don't overdo what you're good at, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Like, so you're always taught, like, as a kid, to focus on your weaknesses to get better.
Yeah.
I think you should do the opposite. We should focus on our strengths because
Yeah.
that's what we're good at. But don't forget about your weakness.
Well, yeah.
Keep working on that. Don't forget about it, but focus on your strengths.
Right.
So if you're out there and your niche market is DPs, keep doing your DPs, but don't be afraid to go into just a straight anal scene. If
Yeah.
you
For
have
sure.
people who are going to want to see that, like,
Mm-hmm.
don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. If sorry, that's random
No,
thought
that's
there,
good.
but
That's really good advice. For sure.
like, don't be afraid to focus on your strengths while working on your weaknesses,
Right.
and don't forget about your strengths to fix your weaknesses.
Yeah. So it's kind of finding that balance. It's a matter of you trying to build up your weaknesses, but using your strengths in the meantime. And maybe one day your weaknesses will catch up to your strengths. And that means you'll just be completely well-rounded. But in the meantime, make sure that you're confident in what you're selling, because if you're confident in it, it's going to make people want it.
Yeah. So like, here's a real good example that I see a lot. Like, if you do feet pictures,
Mm-hmm.
there's a huge market for feet pictures, but a lot of times you'll see a foot picture or something and you can see the girl's butt in the picture. Like, you have a
Mm-hmm.
really nice butt. Use that to strengthen your strength. Like,
Yeah.
as a guy, yeah, I might like feet, but you adding a little bit of booty into that picture just makes it that much better for me. It's not
Right.
what you do, but you just increased the desire for that.
Mm-hmm. And you literally just made a completely new angle. So it's like, if you're taking pictures of like your feet alone, yeah, that's feet pictures, they're going to really enjoy it. But it's like foreplay. You're throwing a little extra something in there.
Yeah. So like, if you go through that foreplay whole idea there, like, I don't care. I might get a lot of hate for this one, but I don't care
Mhm.
how good the sex is. Like, I don't care how good it is. What leads up to that
Mhm.
makes it. Like,
Yeah.
you could be really bad at sex, you could be terrible in bed, but the foreplay that led up to it built that moment into something that made it great.
Mhm.
And do the same thing with your creation, your content. Like,
Yeah.
build it into something. Like, right now I'm running my 12 days of festive fun,
Mhm.
building into like the naughty or nice thing that everybody else is doing right now. But
Right.
we're leading into it. So we have 12 days of fun, crazy, milkers and cookies or panty parties and like just fun things to lead into one big Christmas Eve thread.
Right.
While other people aren't doing things like that, and I think they should be.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I love it. So I'll go ahead and ask you one more question, then I'll let you get on with your day. I know you are quite busy. So the last question that I kind of want to ask is whenever you got into like promoting everyone, did you start out with promoting anyone that contacted you, or was it more or less you were kind of selective and then over time you were like, oh well, I just want to support everybody?
Well, I think when you start a promo page, it's more of like you're going to promote who you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to be like that weird guy who's like DMing all the girls like, hey, can I post your pictures on my page?
Yeah.
Like, to me that's weird, and I don't need to be in 1,000 girls DMs trying to get pictures.
Right.
So I did it a little bit different and kind of ran some contests and things like Doc's Best Booty contest was one of them, and we did a bikini contest, and like those really took off and grew my page the most, I think. But when I first started, it was like I would go through Twitter, other people's threads, and being like, just comment like, hey, I think you're gorgeous, or hey, this picture is phenomenal. This, just to everybody that caught my eye. Like if you were catching my eye, then let's see what we can do.
Right.
But I wasn't selective about who, like, and that's the way I hope I always will be. Is if you want a promo, hit me up. Like that's what we do here, or that's what I do. That's why I'm here. It's what makes this fun to me.
Yes, I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Okay, so let me go ahead and tell everyone on the podcast, if you do not follow Doc on Twitter, make sure you do. It's at PROMODR22. And thank you so much for being a guest on Forbidden Depths. It was really, really nice featuring you today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hey, it's Queen Frostbitten again, your host. I just want to remind you that you can follow us on YouTube at Forbidden Depths. That's FORBIDDENDEPTHS. Or over on Twitter at 4BIDDENDPODCAST. Remember to always stay educated, consensual, and safe. We'll see you on the next show.